Welcome to Sips and Tips, mini episodes of the Leaderish podcast. Listen in as Dr. Jen and Regina bring you a little inspiration to move you through your week a little more inspired. Hey Jen, how's it going?
It's so great. We are doing our second mini-sode for Sips and Tips, and I have a great quote for you today from our book.
Which one?
So it's an Ani DiFranco quote, and I love this because when you and I were first talking about the book, we both realized we have a shared love for Ani DiFranco and her music.
It's true.
And the more that we do this, the more we figure out these little things that we keep going, oh my God, you love Ani DiFranco. I do too. And so I love this quote in particular. And it is, every woman has the right to become herself and do whatever she needs to do.
I mean, heck yeah.
I know. I love that quote. And, so many quotes and things that I hear right now make me think of us doing this podcast. I just can't help it because it's where my mind is.
It's where we're at. Whenever we have free time, this is what we are doing. This is what we're talking about if we're not working, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I love that she says, because when you start to read this quote, you almost start to automatically say, every woman has the right to become herself and do whatever she wants to do. But I love that she says, and do whatever she needs to do. That makes me think of another podcast episode that you and I listened to, which is Unlocking Us with Brene Brown. And she has Glennon Doyle on with her. And they're both absolutely amazing, incredible women anyway. But the conversation they have around this exact topic.
Yes.
It is not about what you want to do. It's about what you need to do for yourself and empowering you to do that and how that's actually better for the people around you than not doing what you need for, as you perceive, the benefit of them.
You are absolutely right. Sometimes when we do what's right for everyone else, we're actually not doing what's right for us. But what's more empowering is doing what's right for us and letting the people around us see that that's okay and that that's how we should be.
Exactly. And gosh, they talk about that for an hour. And I'm going to have to listen to it so many times because I had so many powerful moments and I was driving, so I couldn't write it down. But it really makes me think of this quote. And let's just talk about Ani herself for a moment. When in your life did you learn of Ani DiFranco, and I already know what song you're going to say because we already talked about it, but what is one of your favorite songs?
Well, okay. So I learned of Ani DiFranco when I was in college. And now we talked about Little Plastic Castles because that is my favorite album. And I know every single word to every single song front to back, the whole thing. I can sing it all the way through still to this day, 20 years later. But 32 Flavors is actually my favorite Ani song. And that's how I got introduced to Ani. And I think it was on our Muzak, actually, when I worked in a restaurant. I think I have told you that I worked in lots of restaurants when I was younger. And so Muzak always plays music. And so I kind of heard this music and they replay the same music over and over and over again. Then I'm I need to figure out who that is. Now we had AOL dial up back then. I am not a spring chicken.
I can hear the noises of dial up as you say that.
Right. So I would have to dial into AOL to figure out who that was. I did figure out who it was. And then I actually remember the day that I bought the CD of Little Plastic Castles. And I actually bought it in the bookstore of my university because they had it there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is her.
I have a very similar story. I was in college as well. And I was a freshman and bought the CD at a vendor outside of our university bookstore, actually. And it was Little Plastic Castles. And for some reason, I bought a portrait of her at the same time. It was a little print. So yeah. And Little Plastic Castle is one of my favorite songs. But about Ani, this quote sums up her life. She knew it at a very young age. It takes a lifetime for many of us to learn that we actually can become ourselves and do what we need to do. I'm still working on it. You're working
Mhm.
on it. We're all working on it. She knew that from the age of 18. And I
Wow.
think that's what this quote makes me just think, oh, this is her. And she knew it at a young age. So at the age of 19 in 1989, she released her own self-titled album and she created her own record label. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
And the name of the record label was Righteous Babes.
I do know that.
But she did that at the age of 19.
I did not know
And
that.
yeah, can you imagine being 19 and, you know, hey, I'm going to create a record label and I'm going to produce my own album? That's
No.
incredible.
Yes.
She ended up signing with a larger record label in 1995, I believe, but she still kept Righteous Babes. And then that's really how she kind of got to fame. But she is also a poet. So she has books of poetry. She actually released a memoir last year.
No.
I didn't know that either. Yes, she
Ooh.
released a
Okay.
memoir and it is called No Walls and the Recurring Dream in 2019. It doesn't have a lot of reviews on Amazon, so and I hadn't heard of it before.
Me
But if
neither.
you look at the like critically acclaimed reviews, it makes me really want to read it, and I love her, so I
Oh,
can't wait to
yeah.
read it.
Okay. We should.
Yeah, and then obviously she, she came out as bisexual, I think in the 90s, maybe
Mm-hmm.
late 80s as well. She is an activist.
Very much.
She's very known for being an activist as well. She has been very vocal in some of the anti-war movement,
Mm-hmm.
conservationist as well. She's done many, many benefit concerts, which I've actually seen some of those recordings of some of her benefit concerts. All that to say, that's like her in a 3-minute overview. It so sums up this quote because she has been becoming herself the entire time and she's done whatever she needed to do,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes with a lot of critics. She doesn't.
Always.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Always with a lot of critics.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't care what people think. She does what she needs to do no matter what. That comes through in her music as well. It's a
Yes.
very unique style of music. She wasn't worried about what anyone else was doing. Her poetry, and it's just very inspiring knowing that this is now thinking about who she is and this quote. And it really inspires me and us with this podcast to do what we want to do.
What we need to do, Jen,
Oh my
not
God, I
what we
just
want
said
to
it.
do.
I just said it. What we need to do.
Yes.
Exactly. Because it is a need. I feel it.
Yes. In my bones.
Exactly. I love it. And so we hope that with this brief conversation about Ani, Little Plastic Castle, every woman has the right to become herself and do whatever she needs to do. We hope that you get out there and do whatever it is that you feel in your heart that you need to do.
Cheers.